माधव कुंज बिहारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीचन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपीचन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीचन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपीचन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी श्री नाम संकीर्तन की ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवतेरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 1, chapter number 19, text number 28 and 29. I'll recite text number 28. Shyamam sada vyapyavayolang lakshmya Strinam manogyam ruchira smritena Pratyutitaste munaya swashvinebhyas Talakshakya api gudha varchasam Shyamam sada vipyavayonga lakshmya Strinam manogyam ruchira smitena Pratyutitaste munaya swashnebhyas Talakshagya api gudha varchasam Shyamam sada vyapyavayonga lakshmya Strinam manogyam ruchira smitena Pratyutitaste munaya swasnebhyas Talakshagya api gudha varchasam. आता है? श्यामं सदापि अगलक्ष्य स्मितेना प्रत्युस्थिता ते मनया श्वासेभ्यस् तल्लक्ष्यज्ञाप्यापि गूढवर्चसम्. Translation, word-to-word meaning translation by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Shamam, blackish. English. Sada, always. Avipya, excessively. Vayaha, age. Anga, symptoms. Lakshmya, by the opulence of. Strinam, of the fair sex. Managyam, attractive. Ruchira, beautiful. Smitena, smiling. Pratyuttaha, stood up. Te, all of them. Munaya, the great sages. Swa, own. Asanebhya, from the seats. Tat, those. Lakshagya, expert in the art of physiognomy. Api, even. Gudha covered glories. Translation: he was blackish and very beautiful due to his youth. Because of the glamour of his body and his attractive smiles, he was pleasing to women. Though he tried to cover his natural glories, the great sages present there were all expert in the art of physiognomy, and so they honored him by rising from their seats. So this is having no purport, so we'll go to the next verse, text number 29. Sa Vishnu Rato Rato Titiya Agataya Tasmai Samarpayam Shishir Sa Jahara Tato Nivritya Hiya Buddha Striyorbhaka Mahasane Sopa Vivesha Pujitaha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: Maharaj Parikshit, who is also known as Vishnu Rata, one who is always protected by Vishnu, bowed his head to receive the chief guest Shukadeva Goswami. At that time, all the ignorant women and boys ceased following Sri Sukadeva. Receiving respect from all, Shukadeva Goswami took his exalted seat. Purport: on Shukadeva Goswami's arrival at the meeting, everyone except Srila Vyasadeva, Narada and few others stood up. And Maharaj Parikshit, who was glad to receive a great devotee of the Lord, bowed down before him with all the limbs of his body. Shukadeva Goswami also exchanged the greetings and exit reception by embrace, shaking of hands, nodding and bowing down, especially before his father and Narada Muni. Thus he was offered the presidential seat at the meeting. When he was so received by the king and the sages, the street boys and less intelligent women who followed him were struck with wonder and fear. So they retired from their frivolous activities, and everything was full of gravity and calm. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Tuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parichana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha Namam Vishnapadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhesha Kripa Sindhu Bhevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Jai Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Shikara Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Akam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Linkati Girim Yatkripatamahamam Vande Shri Guru Dinataranam Paramanandamadavam Shri Chaitanyam Ishwaram. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, today, English, Hindi? English is okay, thank you. So, today we will discuss from Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter number 20, chapter number 19, which is entitled The Appearance of Srila Sukadeva Goswami. And the context is that he is coming and is appearing just now 16 years old boy with having very beautiful complexion, having very attractive features, and is very much appealing in his all his visuals when everyone is coming behind him who are teasing. There are small kids and women who are actually teasing him. But actually when they see his exalted position, when biggest of the sages and the king himself is offering respects to Sukadeva Goswami, then they understand that this person is not a madman wearing nothing, wearing the four directions, but he is someone very exalted. So keeping that in mind, they kind of recede from their frivolous activities and all the stage is set. So it's mentioned here how Shukadeva Goswami is being welcomed by the king as well as all the other sages various ways. And this is the second theme which we will discuss. The first theme is about Shukadeva Goswami's whole demeanor, and second theme is about the reception which was exchanged there. Very beautifully it is explained how Shukadev Goswami exchanged greetings and reception by embrace, shaking of hands, nodding and bowing down. Um, Different people, different ways he is reciprocating. And also, we will see the end of the whole discussion about what does it uh, mean, the arrival of a pure devotee in the life of a person. So, seeking blessings from all the Vaishnavas, all the senior Vaishnavas present here, so that I can try to repeat whatever I have learned from my teachers, my superiors, which is meant for my purification of my wicked heart, and for the pleasure of all the Vaishnavas, and for the glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is completely pure, and impure person like me is having no qualification to speak, but it is only by the mercy that there is some kind of empowerment given, by the grace of which we will try to repeat some things. So, Srimad Bhagavatam is a very beautiful literature which is having so many glories. Generally, if you find people, they'll talk whole day, they'll talk whole night, they'll talk all throughout about problems and faults. You go to the news channels, you go to the daily TV opera soaps, which they say. You go to the cinema theaters, you just talk to people on the chalks, the oldie people who are retired from their lives and are sitting on the benches which are made by the government and are discussing some things. The only thing that's they're discussing, even go to the staff rooms of the teachers in the schools or the lunch breaks of the corporate life, the only thing that is discussed is negativity. There is nothing which is positive. They'll find faults, they'll figure out issues, and they'll just keep on munching on that same themes, which is in short known as Prajalpa. But Srimad Bhagavatam, being the Purana, Amala Purana, it is giving us an opportunity to, instead of stooping so low and discussing about people, discussing about issues, discussing about problems, Srimad Bhagavatam gives us an opportunity to discuss about ideas and discuss about transcendence. And that is the reason Srimad Bhagavatam is giving us this gateway to the highest abode. Because as Srimad Bhagavatam is glorifying all the personalities involved, especially the Lord and all his great devotees, it actually is giving us that positive effect of what it happens when you glorify people who are glorious. Before coming to Krishna consciousness, whenever I was meeting people, the only thing that would happen is they would give various negative inputs about various people. Like when I would meet anyone, they would tell how the prime minister of the country is bogus, how the chief minister of the state is useless, corrupt people, all the ministers are basically all big foxes and jackals out there. And even the director of the college, when I was in IIT Kharagpur for a couple of months of my life for doing an internship, so the only thing that would happen daily is within that 2 months I saw 4 strikes. They are all saying hi towards the director. They're saying why this director should leave his post, why things should change towards the betterment, but ultimately whoever will sit at the post will again create another nuisance. So all throughout, since childhood I've seen, whoever is the boss, everyone below talks negative. That's what's life. When my father was there as a HR admin of a company, and all the employees, they were doing strike against him, and I was saying hi towards the whole company, towards my father, and I would receive calls, तुम्हारे पापा को बोल दो वहाँ पे नहीं आएंगे नहीं तो गोली से उड़ा देंगे. So I was like, what is all this nonsense going on? But that's what is life. I was quite fearful. I told my father, this is what my father told. This keeps happening. Carry on. You don't mind. But this is what is the negativity is with what the people live with. But Srimad Bhagavatam begins and continues to go through this legacy of giving us the positive insight, wherein there is glories. The first time when I met devotees, went to IIT Kharagpur for a camp, Sankalpa camp, I had my mentors, and some things amazing happened that I could see there is a leader. The leader was Rajeshyam Prabhu, he was giving lectures. But I was like, for the first time I saw in my life people who are under someone, they're all throughout glorifying that person. And that was the first time I observed in my life, whereas the subordinates are so satisfied, happy, and in fact very, very appreciative about their superior. And that was the first time I even told on the spot my mentor that, Prabhu, this is the first time I'm seeing someone really glorifying someone's superiors, because every time all my professors have been, although the director of our institute was very, very efficient and good, but all the professors were always giving him galis. So here's the first time I experienced, and that's what is happening here. Sutta Goswami is, since the beginning he sang this beautiful verse before even answering the questions of the Shaunakadi rishis. He says, Yasvana bhavam akhila shrutasāramekam adhyatma deepamatitīrshatam tamo andham samsārinām karunaya purāna guhyam tam vyasa shonapayami gurum muninam. So he is telling how merciful is my spiritual master, that is Sukadeva Goswami, who is giving the most confidential knowledge to the people at large out of compassion. So there's where he began this first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam as Sutta Goswami started speaking. And here's again, he's kept on glorifying everyone involved. Krishna is being glorified, Bhishma is being glorified, Kunti Maharani is being glorified, the Pandavas are being glorified. Here now, Parikshit Maharaj is glorified, and Sukadeva Goswami is being glorified again. Each and every bodily part of his, limbs of his body is being glorified. What appreciation does this disciple carry about his spiritual master? So amazing. So it's one insight from here is, it's this appreciation will not come automatically. It has to be cultivated. And this cultivation of appreciation happens when one is grateful and one is living that life of mercy from his spiritual master. When he understands that it's the mercy, each and every cell of my consciousness, my body, my existence is made up of only mercy. And this mercy is causeless, that is descending down from my spiritual master. Then this kind of appreciation comes out, because otherwise it is not possible. So when that gratitude is something one is really overwhelmed with, that gratitude leads to this kind of appreciation, wherein he is even going to the, each and every details of his appearance. He is giving a clear picture, how was he looking and what was happening. Each and every curl of his hair is being described here. Just, if you see that, observe that, it's so amazing. So, Sutta Goswami, after glorifying, while glorifying Srila Sukadeva Goswami, he is saying that actually his bodily features and his attractive smiles was so pleasing that everyone was attracted. And they were honoring him. So this brings us to one understanding that anyone who is Krishna conscious, as Sukadeva Goswami is, he becomes attractive. Krishna is all attractive. Saha Karsati, Saha Krishna. Similarly, because the devotees, they are very much dear to Krishna, they also become attractive. They also, are able to catch the attention of people at large, and thus they are attractive. So, Sukadeva Goswami here is very, very attractive. Devotees are also attractive. Srila Prabhupada is also attractive. Srila Prabhupada was, sitting once in his room at Mayapur, and he was just writing. And, Pankaj Prabhu happened to enter the room, and he offered obeisances. And as he was offering obeisances, he just did not get up after offering obeisances. He was just attracted to that pinkish lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. And he was just mesmerized seeing that lotus feet. Just seeing it for a long period of time. After some time, and Prabhupada observed what is it doing. And then, he came back to his, Prabhupada is observing me, but he, out of his, deep gratitude, was just admiring and appreciating that beautiful form of his pinkish lotus feet, as he explains there. And then Srila Prabhupada kind of understood what experience he is going through, and he affirmed. He just kind of affirmed, no issues, and then little being embarrassed, he just offered the obeisances and went back. So, a devotee of Krishna is very attractive. Although if you see from an external point of view, an 75 years old person, they're roaming around in the streets of all over the world. What is that which attracted more than 10,000 people all over the world, not just one kind of class of people, varieties of class, varieties of creed, varieties of language, varieties of gender, all of them getting attracted to one person who is empowered with the Lord. So externally, you will find there is nothing, as such. There is no external so-called beauty or all that, but this is attraction that is coming because of connectivity with the Lord, and that's what is spreading. So next we see here, how the devotees are receiving Shukadeva Goswami. So this is a very important concept in spirituality, that we need to realize the importance of a devotee, and then we receive that person, because this kind of reception is needed to express the importance of the person who is being received. Now we go back to various aspects, various episodes in Srimad Bhagavatam, and we see that there are various places in which there is a guest reception done. If we go back to this 9th chapter, then Bhishma Dev is lying on the bed of arrows, and similar to this case, this situation, varieties of sieges are coming from various places. Although Bhishma Dev is lying with not even an opportunity for him to move his hands and legs, still, whatever situation he is in, he is doing such a guest reception, with his, Prabhupada writes there, time, place, circumstances. So, he is doing the needful to receive them, even with glances of appreciation and smiles, or whatever is possible. And in the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhupada writes in that one of the purports that it's so important to receive a guest. So one should receive a guest with smile, by giving them lots of first one should make the person sit on a very nice seat, and then offer him um, water to wash his hands and feet, and then offer him water to drink, and then offer him food, prasadam, which is duly cooked and offered. And also, if Prabhupada goes step by step, if one cannot do that, then one should give a seat to a person. If one cannot do that, then one should at least give some water to the person. And if one cannot even do that, then one should, with folded hands, tears in his eyes, feel sorry about his situation, and should still receive that person with whatever capacity he has. So, very, very beautiful purport. It comes in the fourth canto. Prabhupada writes, when who's that? Prithu Maharaj section it comes. So, Prithu Maharaj himself welcomed the four Kumaras when they came, and with whatever capacity he has, he is the king, and these four Kumaras are sages. Similarly, we see Dashrath Maharaj received whom? Vishwamitra Muni. Similarly, we see Nimi Maharaj received Nava Yogendras. We see varieties of episodes where the kings received. Chitraketu Maharaj received Angira Muni. The system is that the king should give his seat and make that sage seat on his seat. Should instead the king should sit on the floor, wash his lotus feet, and sprinkle that water over himself and everyone. Krishna received all the sages in the Rajasuya Yagya. Krishna also received Sudama Vipra. So this is positive examples of how to receive. But there are also some examples where we learn what not to do. Indra was enjoying in the heavenly planets, wherein his guru came and he did not receive. And that one microsecond of a mistake, and a whole episode of Srimad Bhagavatam is explained there, in which he was expelled from his kingdom. Not only he, but all the demigods, had to be, they were running hither and thither for long period of time, undergoing a huge amount of turmoils in their lives. We also see Agastya Muni coming in onto one hill at Tamil Nadu, wherein he is our Indradimna Maharaj is doing tapasya. Tamil, that place is known as the state of Tamil. So Nadu means state. Anyways, hopefully it is the same. So Agastya Muni, as he reached that hillock, he saw that King Indradimna is just, not paying attention. Now he actually saw, King Indradimna, he saw that Agastya Muni has come, but he was like, he thought, if I open my eyes, then what will happen is, I will have to give him reception. So that's why he just, as a timtimake, and then he just continued with his tapasya. So Agastya Muni, he thought that if this person, he is having this kind of an attitude, he is not ready to go back to Godhead. Because his head is having the intelligence of that of an elephant, let him become an elephant. And thus, within one life, he went back to Godhead. This is a special mercy of the devotees. They gave curse, it turns out to be a blessing. Narad Muni was roaming around, was not received by Nalkovera Manigriva, and he gave a curse. That was meant for the benefit. So we can see also both positive negative examples in Ramanujacharya's disciples. As they were entering the city, Ramanujacharya sent his disciples, go and inform that I am coming. So although that disciple who was very, very rich was very excited, oh, Gurudev is coming. He was so excited that he forgot to give a proper reception to the disciples. And they just, with small faces, returned back to the Guru. And Ramanujacharya told, okay, so did you tell them? And they told yes. But so Ramanujacharya asked, how did he receive you? Oh, Gurudev, he was so excited about your welcoming that he just forgot that he has to receive us also. He did not receive you, I will not go there. Go to the other devotee who is very, very poor, and from him I am coming. And that's how, although he was the wife of this devotee was not having even anything in the home, but she arranged for everything. We know the story. I'm not going into details of the same. So this is known as a reception. Very important to receive the devotees because they're worth more. Prabhupada was asked, why do you have to have such a costly car, where your disciples are receiving you? Prabhupada told, what is this car made up of iron? लोखंड का गाड़ी लेकर के क्या दिखा रहे हो मुझे? Ideally this Krishna is to be given chariot of gold, and as a representative of Krishna you should have given golden car. What is this gold iron car? Better you should have given golden car. So that was kind of unexpected. Of course, we understand that this reception is not just the externals, it's from the core of the heart. It is mentioned, Duryodhan ka bhog na khayo, rukho sagave durgar payo, aise prem pujari radhe, sham sham sham. So Krishna was also given guest reception at Duryodhana with lots of fine ladies welcoming, with 56 plus items, varieties of opulent items being cooked for his reception. But Krishna did not want to accept it. Instead, he went to Vidurani, and she was not prepared that Krishna is coming. Krishna came, and she was having like nothing. She offered him a seat to sit, but as she opened the door and saw Krishna was around in front of her, she could not see Krishna after a few seconds, because in between her vision and Lord Krishna's presence there came her tears, and with tears of love and gratitude she welcomed Krishna, made him sit on whatever seat was available, and she was like frantically looking on how should I receive him. And while receiving, gave various fruits, but instead of giving the fruits, she was giving the peels of the bananas. And Krishna was receiving the peels, and he was eating the peels, and she was throwing away the bananas. No, this is not a proper guest reception, if you see. This is not the way to receive guests. But Krishna was accepting not the banana peels, but he was accepting the love, the devotion of Vidurani. Similarly, we see Lord Ram being received by Shabari. It was not the way you should offer, the bhoga to the Lord. If the pujari comes and before, whether it is having salt or not, whether it is too hot or sour, if he tastes it, okay, it is fine. That's not the way we offer Naivedya. At the same time, Lord Ram was accepting. Lakshman was confused. What's going on? Why is he eating jutha of this old lady? But Lord Ram was accepting that love and devotion of Shabari. So the guest reception has to be done in a proper way, proper mood. And the externals also matter. More than that, the internals also matter. Internals matter more, in fact. So, the third aspect of today's discussion will be about, um, the arrival of the devotee in one's life. So, this marks to be the turning point when the living entity is traversing through this journey, and he is going through various species, various experiences, various lifetimes after lifetimes after lifetimes. He carries on and on. At a particular point of time, yad richaya, Srimad Bhagavatam multiple times uses this word, yad richaya, by the inconceivable mercy of the Lord, or the devotee, or both, combination of those both. Um, a, a saintly person enters within the life of this soul, living entity, who is traversing through this, through his various species of, one after another. And that interaction, that connection marks the beginning of the end of the existence of that living entity in the material world. So, this is historical in the lifetimes, various lifetimes of this living entity in the material world. He has lived through having so many experiences. He has done so many bungee jumping, so much of adventures, so much of going to Kullu Manali, varieties of places he has seen, and he has been through various ups and downs, various uh, expressing I love you and experiencing, oh, you also love me. And then after some time, I hate you like anything. Can't see your face. All of that through various species, this living entity has gone through. There is nothing new here that one is going to experience. Varieties of rasas, conjugal, dasya, sakhya, and vatsalya. He has experienced all of that multiple times, innumerable times. But everything is perverted. Nothing is true. Nothing is, actually giving him satisfaction. He has experienced love, hatred, all varieties of experiences he has gone through. But when he experiences the presence of a sadhu even for a lavya matra sadhu sangha sarva siddhihaya, then that marks his turning point. Chitraketu Maharaj was living his life as a king, having so many wives, millions of wives. His kept on marrying, kept on trying, nothing was happening. He was still not giving up hope. And even when a sage comes to his life, sage is asking so many things, Angira Muni, but he is sticking to the same agenda. Bacha nahi hai. Please give me son. So the sage understands that he is not going to grow without that. That's why, by his mystic potency, he gives him his Harsha Shoka. Now, this son will be responsible for you to take to Krishna consciousness seriously. Right? Similarly, we see again, Vyasadeva has written so many literatures, but ultimately he is not yet satisfied and happy unless he receives the mercy of Sri Narada. Arjuna is in trouble, and Krishna is giving him the Bhagavad Gita. Prachetas are roaming in the forest. Lord Shiva comes and sings the Rudra Gita. Prithu Maharaj is receiving so much of appreciation from varieties of people in his kingdom after achieving. Before also he received, and after doing things also he is receiving. But when the four Kumaras come, then that's the time when he is experiencing the connectivity with the Lord all the more. So Rahugana is just going on his way, but by the inconceivable mercy of the Lord, he gets association of Bharat, Jada Bharat. And by interacting with him, he becomes completely enlightened. So, in our lives also, it's those moments when we came in contact the first time with the Vaishnavas, whoever came to us, distributed a book, or came to us for registering for a course, or met on the street while doing Harinam Sankirtan. The life was going in some direction, like our Chakra Prabhu, cook, he was simply cooking in his restaurant, and our devotees, they were doing Harinam Sankirtan, and became connected. And now he is, getting grace of sadhu. Is it not? So it's so immensely amazing to get that association of a devotee. And this is not just some portion of the Shastras. Even Krishna is saying before going to his abode, to his dear devotee Uddhava. It comes in the Aila Geet section, wherein after he begins Aila Gita by telling that one should not take association of people who are improper association. Krishna begins with that. And then he goes through the whole of Aila Geet, the Pururava lamenting for wasting his time unnecessarily. And then he goes to conclude that section by speaking some 10 verses, 10 verses, which I will just go through the translation. He says, an intelligent person should therefore reject all bad association and instead take up the association of saintly devotees whose words cut off the excessive attachment to one's mind. So this is very important to understand what the association of saintly devotees should do. If association of saintly devotees is not cutting off the excessive attachment of one's mind, then we may be in that satsanga, but we are not allowing ourselves to be absorbed in that satsanga. We have made igloos around ourselves. Don't touch me. I'm in, but I'm not in. So that's important, that the saintly devotees are, because sadhu means to cut. And what does the sadhu cuts? The sadhu cuts the knots, the attachments of this mortal world, without which one will not be able to go. One will not be able to transcend. Next, he says, my devotees, what is their characteristics? What is their symptoms? They fix their mind in me and do not depend on anything material. So as soon as we are depending on material things, there will be problems. As soon as we are connecting to eternity, we are transcendent. They are always peaceful, shantaha, prashantaha, samadarshinaha, endowed with equal vision and free from possessiveness, nirmama, nirahankara, nirdvandva, no duality, no false ego, no greed. This is the quality of the saintly people. So figure out if we have got association of at least one person who is, having such qualities or is on the path of these qualities. And if we are getting that association, we are very fortunate, extremely fortunate. Next, Lord says that, O Dhav, in the association of such saintly devotees, there is constant discussion. What happens in that association? There is all the times, mat kataha, and all the times there is nityam mat kataha. All the times there is discussion of Krishna consciousness. And those partaking in this chanting and hearing my glories are certainly purified from all sins. Anyone who is present there in that association of sadhus, when there is discussion of Krishna Katha going on, they are completely agham prapnoti. Their papa, agham, that goes away. It just eradicates, finished. So all the baggages that one is carrying for billions of lifetimes, that's vanishing. Isn't it amazing? Right? Further, he says, whoever chants, hears, respectfully takes to heart these topics about me, becomes faithfully dedicated to me and thus achieves my devotional service. So what happens by the grace of this discussions and association? One becomes a devotee. One takes very seriously Krishna Katha. One hears, one chants, one takes very seriously Krishna consciousness. Further, he says, what more remains? I say, kya chahiye aur? What more remains to be accomplished for a perfect devotee after achieving devotional service to me, whose qualities are innumerable and who are embodiment of all ecstatic experience? The disciples of Srila Prabhupada write on this purport that Krishna himself is saying that, he is telling to the gopis, gopis, you have got service to me and you have served to me. Now I have got nothing to give to you. That service is only your payment. That service is only what is your reward. Right? So, what more is needed? Just your experiencing devotional service, that's it. That's life. That's eternity. There is nothing more. Is it not? Further, and Krishna gives some analogies. Just as cold, fear and darkness are eradicated for one who has approached fire, sacrificial fire agar aayenge. So, cold, fear and darkness, everything is gone. Similarly, dullness, fear and ignorance are destroyed for one who is serving the devotees, Vaishnava Seva, serving the devotees of the Lord. And further, these devotees, peacefully fixed in absolute knowledge, are ultimate shelter for those who are repeatedly rising and falling within the fearful ocean of material life. Sansar mein, people are bhavabdhau, nijya unmatchatam ghore. This is very fearful material existence. Now we are going to sing this Sansara Dava Nala Lidhaloka. We sing, but we don't experience it. We feel, well, that's a song. But actually, it's very troublesome and very ghora, very dreadful material world. We need to realize and need not experience, we realize it so that we don't experience it. So, repeatedly those who keep going up and down, sometimes rising, sometimes falling, this mortal material world, fearful ocean, one will be peacefully fixed. So, devotees of Lord are peacefully fixed. They are like a strong boat that not only is treading their own path, but also are rescuing many. So, a devotee who is fixed, he can pull in many more. Like Bhima, when he would play kabaddi, people would catch him and he would lift everyone and they are all having no space to put their feet and he would walk, So Prabhupada was like this. He would go to the west, hippie land, and he, instead of getting troubled by any of those negativities, he pulled them up. That's the quality for devotee. Just as food is life of all creatures, just as I am the ultimate shelter for the distress, and just as religion is the wealth of those who are passing away from this world. So my devotees are the only refuge for persons fearful of falling into miserable condition of life. So every creature needs food. The distressed, they are coming, running back to the Lord. Exam में pass करा दो, interview में job दिला दो, and so on and so forth. कुछ भी हो, even if he is a नास्तिक, at least जाकर के 1 घंटी तो बजा देते हैं. Is it not? And just as religion is the wealth of those who are passing away from this world, बाकी जो कुछ किया नहीं किया, at the last moment at least, let me remember something, कुछ तो दान पुण्य कर दें. So devotees are only refuge. Devotees are only refuge for anyone who is fearful of falling into miserable condition. If anyone is not fearful, they will run here and there. They will not come in association. Anyone who is having that fear that I don't want this anymore, they will come back to that shelter of the devotees association. And the last one, my devotees bestow divya chakshu, divine eyes, where the sun allows only external sight. So that only when it is rising in the sky. So the sun can give sight only when it is rising in the sky, that too it is external. But my devotees, they give the divya gyan, divya chakshu dan dilo jai, Janme Janme Prabhu say. My devotees are once real worshipable deities. Devotees are deities, and real family. Sache samudaya hai. They are one's own self, and ultimately they are non-different from me. So Krishna goes on to what extremes to glorify his devotees. If you have, if you spend time with Bhagavad Gita, Krishna sings that Bhaktyashtakam as well. 12th chapter, 13 to 18th verse, 13 to 20th verse. So Krishna is really, so much happy and grateful to the devotees who are actually wanting to do something for others. So that's why he is saying that please take shelter, please connect, please go back to my devotees because they are not different from me. So I thank you all very much. Here Shukadeva Goswami is giving his association, and as we complete this first canto Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukadeva Goswami starts speaking the second canto onwards. So in the first canto, Shukadeva Goswami is not speaking. He is coming. And second canto, as he starts speaking, we will hear from him and perfect our lives. And thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share some thoughts, and I seek for blessings and forgiveness if I have spoken anything which was not appropriate. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.